Imagine you are the football coach on draft day, strategizing to build a championship winning team right from the start. I am Grand Scrum Master Scott, your host, and welcome to Scrumcademy. Today, we dive into sprint planning, your Scrum team's very own draft day. Just like a coach selects top players to shape the team's success, sprint planning is where you draft your most valuable tasks to align and empower your team for the season. Join us as we explore how to align your Agile playbook and ensure your team is strategically poised to tackle the sprint. Let's draft your MVPs and gear up for a victorious season. Welcome, Agile enthusiasts. Let's first of all begin talking about the purpose of draft day. In football, draft day revolves around selecting players who match the team needs, leveraging their strengths, and aligning their strategic goals for the upcoming season. Similarly, during sprint planning, the Scrum teams prioritize the product backlog and plans the sprint to address business needs effectively. But let's slide over to the purpose of sprint planning. Sprint planning is all about planning the work that we're going to do for this particular sprint. We're going to answer 3 questions. Why, what, how? If we comparing sprint planning to NFL draft day, we're going to select the most valuable tasks that bring the most value to our stakeholders. And we have 3 questions to do that. Why? If I'm at draft day, why should I select this candidate? Okay, it may be the number 1 pick, but why should I select this person? What? Well, what can this person do for our team? What can this person do for our squad? What can this person do to help us get a step closer to the product goal? And the 3rd question, how? How would this person help our team, help our squad, help us to achieve our sprint goal, which ultimately leads to the product goal? Why, what, how are the 3 questions that we're answering at sprint planning. And also, since you are the head coach, I'm sure that you are answering those 3 questions too. Now, let's talk about some draft day essentials that you might need once you get there to this event, draft day or sprint planning. In the world of football, coaches and scouts rely on comprehensive data about players to make well-informed decisions. Are you doing that at your sprint plannings? Likewise, in sprint planning, the Scrum team reviews the product backlog along with user feedback to prioritize tasks that maximize value. That sounds about like your sprint planning? Yeah. Absolutely. Very nice. Woo. Not only are you going to get the number 1 pick, oh my goodness, y'all should win the championship this year. Yeah, no doubt in my mind. Let's talk about the team strategy. So what is your strategy going into sprint planning? What is your strategy going into your football draft day? Just as a football team aligns its selections with the season goals, the Scrum team aligns its choices with the sprint goal. It's all about finding the right mix of tasks that will help the team move forward effectively and efficiently. It's not about fulfilling positions. It's not about just grabbing tasks to do work to keep the developers busy, but choosing tasks that align with the sprint goal and the overall project objectives. That sounds about like what you're doing? Oh, I hope so. We tried to build a championship team here. Remember, it is draft day. We are at sprint planning. Now, what are the roles of the coaches and the product owners, the Scrum team, that are at this event? Off the field, consider the product owner as the head coach who helps guide the team in choosing the product backlog items that best meet the business goals. Just as a coach picks players who will fulfill the team's strategic goals, so does the product owner on a Scrum team in the real world. Are you beginning to see the connection? So beautiful. Now, this event is a collaborative discussion. Draft day is collaborative. It's not just the coach, but the entire coaching staff that weighs in. Similarly, your sprint planning is a team effort where developers discuss their capacity, they define specific tasks, and collectively decide on the sprint's workload. Ultimately, the developers are going to select the product backlog items. Ultimately, the developers decide how to get the work done. Now, as we formulate our game plan, when it comes to formulating the game plan, coaches sketch out the initial game strategies based on their roster, just as Scrum teams develop a sprint backlog that maps out the sprint. This includes developers selecting tasks, estimating effort, and setting clear expectations of what needs to be accomplished by the end of this sprint. Now, I want you to think about what's happening at draft day. I want you to visualize an actual draft day if you ever saw one. Yeah, my team may select the number 1 draft pick, but I may immediately trade that draft pick for another candidate that I believe best fits our needs. Similarly, product owner can, yes, have something ordered at the product backlog, but once we begin to have that discussion in terms of how that particular product backlog item is going to impact our team, then we as a team might decide, the number 1 draft pick is not the best pick. Maybe we need to go down to the number 3 draft pick because that is the best thing we need right now to get to our sprint goal and ultimately get a step closer of achieving the product goal, which is the championship. Very nice. Now let's talk about adjusting the playbook. Now, we on draft day, we at sprint planning, and because we come up with a sprint backlog and because we select those person to join our team right now, doesn't mean that we're stuck with those particular product backlog items or with those particular players if we're at draft day. Flexibility is key both on and off the field. Flexibility is key in Scrum. Sprint planning allows for adaptive and responsive strategies, ensuring the team can pivot as needed throughout the game, aka sprint. Instead of planning the entire game, the best Scrum teams plan incrementally, just for a quarter or two, inspecting and adapting at strategic intervals like the huddle, timeout, or maybe even halftime. Oh, by the way, did you read or listen to your Scrum guide today? If not, that's okay. Because when you read it today and get to the sprint planning section up underneath the events, this episode should bring it in like 3D form for you. As we close today's playbook on sprint planning as draft day, remember that meticulous planning and team consensus are the keys to a successful sprint, just like the strategic preparation of a winning football season. By carefully selecting the right task and aligning your team with clear sprint goals, you pave the way for a series of agile touchdowns, driving your project championship success of achieving the product goal. Thank you so much for joining us here in the Scrumcademy Scrum Football Series. Don't forget to like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that doggone notification bell so that you won't ever miss the latest in agile strategies. Dive deeper into Scrum, stay agile, and lead your team to victory with solid sprint planning. If you missed the previous episode, be sure to check it out to further enhance your understanding of the Scrum team roles. Until next time, keep drafting wisely and leading your Scrum team to triumph. See you at our next huddle, where we'll tackle the next big play in the Scrum Football Series. As always, be agile, do Scrum, and be super duper legendary in all of your endeavors. I see you right now in the previous video.